Hey, everybody. Good morning. It is Thursday. I want to say it's June 25th. So let's just pretend like I did say that. And we are, as usual, in the annex with these tiny Weebops. And I wasn't gonna. I came up here to weigh them and give them poops, just like I do every morning. But then I interrupted all that to do the close-up because they were all being super active and crazy cute. And mom's having a snack, so she's not just nursing them. I thought this would be fun. I hear lots of little chomping going on. You guys, I know you can't hear it, it's too quiet, but I can hear them biting each other, which is cute. Starting to play, experiment. Artie's off on his own, walking around, meowing for mom. Now you distracted your mom, and she's gonna come over here and lie down. We don't want that yet. You don't have to do that. Go back to breakfast. Go back to breakfast, Bee-Boo. These kids will be all right for a few minutes. You were just over here nursing. You don't have to worry about it yet. All right, now she's on mom patrol. Somebody's yelling. I think it's still Artie. Hi, Artie. Yes, this is a great fun stage of their development because they just fall all over the place trying to walk. They're working it out, but they haven't figured it out yet. I got three of them all coming up on my lap. Now, Artie has climbed on my lap before, and I only know this is him because this one is so small, and Artie's much smaller than the others still. I love their little antenna tails at this age, too, where they just stick straight up. Look at that. The cutest thing. Falling every which way, trying to get up. Such a great age. Yes, the adorable drunken zombies phase. I don't remember who said that to us first, but it's pretty cute. Artie is always, every time I come in the room, Artie starts walking around trying to find me. I mean, unless he's nursing on mom, of course, then he's got more important things to do. But look, he's climbed up on my lap. This is the second time he's climbed up on my lap all on his own without any help. And he, I think, is still the first and only one to officially get all the way up here on his own. I just double checked. That is, in fact, Artie. So, yes, I'm correct. This is Artie. Artie's about to head back down gracefully. And we all know we can tell Vinyl because of the collar. Vinyl's an easy one to tell. Hi, Vinyl. Mom's a little concerned about what's going on here. I opened her window and she was going to look out the window at the dog and the neighbors. But then she decided to eat and then Artie called her over here. Well, what can I tell you and pretend like it's news today? There's not a whole lot of news today. These kids are progressing. I don't think anybody got moved by mom last night, so she must have settled down a little bit from whatever was bothering her the night before. They did wake me up with some crazy screaming at about 2 a.m. And as usual, by the time I finally decided, all right, I got to go do something, I got in here and they were all done with the screaming by the time I got here. But I still helped rearrange them a little bit. Just it's a good reminder, even for me, that they can be very noisy sometimes when mom sits on them, but they're fine. They always work it out, and usually before I can. Bebop's gone back to her breakfast. I hear some sneezes in here, but I'm also quite sneezy right now because I opened the window for Bebop, and allergens are just high right now, all over. Maybe I should close it up. We don't need sneezy kittens, and Bebop doesn't care about the window right now. She enjoyed it for a second. She got up there, she looked out, and she was like, that's quite enough. Just a reminder that the older kittens, the gifts, are going to be going for their spays on the 1st, and then they'll get their sutures out somewhere around the 10th. And probably that weekend of the 10th is the first moment where their adopters would be able to pick them up without any issues. Of course, they can come earlier if they schedule the suture removal with their own vet. And I'm saying that again, mostly for the benefit of those adopters if they're watching, because I've got it on my to-do list to send them all emails or communications and let them know what's going on, and I still haven't gotten around to it. Maybe today's the day to catch up on that. I don't know. I've got lots and lots of things on my to catch up with list, though. As far as Bebop moving kids, I saw someone asking, if I thought it was the wood floor that she was trying to move them for or what. I honestly don't know why she's moving them, and I'm not even going to try to guess. I think there could be a lot of reasons. It could be complicated, or there could be no reason at all. It could just sort of be an instinct thing where all of a sudden she's like, I feel like I've really got to move these kids, and I don't. Maybe she doesn't even know why. So it's hard to say. I have noticed though that she's got an interesting behavior that once I mention it, you guys will say that I know you'll also have noticed this. Most every mom cat that we've had before, even the ones that are very nervous one way or another about their kids, and there's been ones that are way more nervous and protective than even she is. But she's the first one I can think of that always nurses with her back to the wall every time. Every time. I've never seen her lay down any other way except with her spine up against the wall. Whereas every other mom cat we have, they do that fairly often, but they'll also lay out in the middle, and then a lot of the mom cats will lay out this way and have all their kittens on that side so that they're the wall and they keep the kittens enclosed over here. That kind of a thing. And I've seen, plenty of that. And I think that is complicating things for her a little bit because we see every mom cat get into this situation where they sit down and they start licking their kids and all their kids get under them and then they can't lay down because there's all the kittens under them. And every mom cat has that experience. But most mom cats then will be like, all right, I can't lay down over here, so I'll just flop over on the other side. And she won't do that. She won't lay down unless she can have the wall position. So I think she gets herself stuck maybe just a little bit more than some other mom cats do as a result of that inflexibility on her nursing position, which is interesting. And again, no way to possibly tell what to make of that, but as an observation, it is something to think about. That was good. She sort of slid in there so the kitten got pushed out. Very clever. Well, now she's gone on to the nursing stage of things, so the stream's about to get much less interesting. Because all the kittens are about to get in there and start nursing. I should mention for people that don't typically watch the stream and who maybe just tuned in the last week or so, that normally we have a really nice box made up for our mom cats to have their little kittens in for the first month until the kittens learn how to walk around really well. And it's a big box, and it's especially made up for them. And we put the blankets in it, and we put the heater in it, and we put the cameras in it, and we put some lights in it, and it's beautiful. We put wallpaper up. We did all that for Bebop, and she decided that she hated it and moved her kittens out. So that's why she's our first mom cat in quite a while who's just having all of her kittens out in the corner of the room. That's not the normal process for us, but it seems like it's working very well for her. And so that's fine with us. It's a little different. She's got strong opinions on how her kitten should be raised, I guess. Speaking of Bebop, she did go through a period, which you might have noticed on the weight chart, where she definitely wasn't eating enough food, and she was having bad poops, I think, too, because the food that she was picking was stuff that was just too rich, too high in carbohydrates. But we fed it to her anyway because it's much better for her to eat than not. Um, Lately, she has self-selected the Fancy Feast, and she's been eating almost exclusively the Fancy Feast. She's supplementing it with a little bit of the dry foods that we're still giving her, and that's really good news. So it's worth reporting in that she now has great poops. They're fantastic. No more bad poops, and we're going to try to transition her completely to the Fancy Feast if we feel like we can get away with it. But we're taking it slow, one step at a time. And I haven't checked her weight yet today, but it's definitely on my list of things to do because I want to know how it's going. Also, yesterday, the gains on the kittens weren't necessarily everything that we would have wanted. No, they weren't bad, generally. They were just barely in the acceptable range across the board. So I haven't weighed them yet this morning. Like I said, I sat down to do that when they were being so cute and decided to do the close-up instead. But that weigh-in this morning is going to be very indicative of whether today is a day when I start trying to free feed some kittens once again, or if we're really done with that. So that's going to be an interesting thing. And where was I going with that? Oh, I know every time that the nursing comes up, there's people, new folks that haven't heard me talk about it before. We do have some miracle nipples here, and I've tried to, give them that. Well, I tried to give Artie that once. In my experience, it still comes down to the fact that a kitten that has nursed on mom is usually very resistant to the idea of nursing even on the miracle nipple. And vice versa. Kittens that are raised on the artificial nipples usually don't figure out how to nurse on mom. They usually have one or the other, and they don't switch back and forth very well. So, in my experience, the miracle nipple or bottle nursing for these kittens probably not going to go very well, and we're probably going to do the tube some more if we have to feed them some more. But that's not to say I won't give it a second try. I might give it a second try, in fact, if we have to weigh them. If we have to feed them, sorry. I was also reading the chat while I'm talking, and I got a little tripped up. I do see a couple people requesting for me to go ahead and weigh them now as part of the close-up like we used to do with Gab's 3 kittens. I'll tell you, it seems like that was a lot easier to keep up with and a lot easier request to make when there were only 3. But, all right, let's do it. You want to do it? Why not? We're only 15 minutes in and they're all nursing, and this is going to be a pretty boring stream from here on out if we don't do something fun like weigh the kittens. So let's do, and I'll ask you guys on the Discord, somebody keep track of all the weights, and I'll put them in the spreadsheet afterwards. So here's our scale. Got it here on the Infinity Scratcher, so it's got a solid surface to sit on. Hello. Having that solid surface is so important. I discovered this myself as I weigh myself on a regular basis, and I had a rug down in my bathroom, and I just set the scale on it real quickly, thinking I would get my weight, and it was 100 pounds off from what it should have been, just because it was on the rug. That was eye-opening. So big difference for the kittens. All right, here is this is Bessie. I go in the same order as on the weight sheet, or I try to. So this is Bespoke or Bessie, and she weighs 9.1 ounces today. So that's pretty good. 9.1. Hi, Bessie. I know, you look so cute, though. How can we not film you a little bit? I know, I should have brought the tripod to do this so I could have both hands free. I'm just going to have to come back and clean you up afterwards because I can see you do need a little bit of cleaning from me. So that's Bespoke or Bessie, 9.1 ounces. That sounds like a very good number to me. This is Artie up front. He should be next, and we'll just take him and then we'll put him right back on his nipple because he, of all the ones, is the one that I keep the closest eye on. And I know he needs to nurse a lot more. Look at that, we've got the little tongue from pulling him off there. All right, Artie. Let's see, you weigh 8. I know that's good. I know that's good because, like I said, I keep a close eye on him, and he was like 7.7 or something last night. At any rate, I know 8 is definitely an improvement. I'm going to pick him up, though. Hi, Artie. We're just going to get a second opinion. All right. Oh, 8. Okay, good. It decided 8. Excellent. Good job, Artie. That sounds really good. Now, you need to get in there and nurse some more, though, so we're not done yet. Get on in there. Find that nipple again. Good job, bud. All right, I think next on the chart would be Indy, which is the darker of our two dilutes. There's a dilute here and a dilute here for sure. The redder, I should say, rather than darker, because they can be deceptively dark. I think this one is the redder. And we'll be able to tell for sure by weight. So if the weights seem backwards, then I got them wrong. But this does look like Indy to me, at least kind of. Boy, they can be hard to tell. Okay. We're going to call you Indy while we check your weight. And then, like I said, if the weights seem backwards, then we'll just flip Indy. All right, 10.4 for Indy, question mark. 10.4 is a good weight. I was touching her when that said 10.6. Let's just pick her up. All right, let's get a second opinion. 10.4 is what we're going to go with. All right, good job. You've got the roundest head next to Ironic, who has the roundest head. My goodness. Such big. I do think that she and Ironic have a good chance of being long hairs. Either that or their fur's just coming in a lot faster than even they are growing. Look at this right here. This says super floof to me. DJ thinks so too so far, but it can be really hard to tell at this age whether they really are going to end up being big, long hair, floofy cats, or if it's just that their fur is growing faster than they are. It can be hard to tell. Okay, let's see. So that would make this one Ironic, at least in theory, if we don't have them backwards. 10.6. All right, well, that makes it a little difficult to tell by weight because that's within the range that either one could be either one. But let's take them together and we'll figure it out for sure. Hang on. So I'm just going to get a second opinion on that 10.6. Close enough. Now we have to get a third opinion, though, to settle that tie. To break that. All right, we're going to go with 10.5 then. And look, this one also is pretty floofy. Now, let's steal them both for a minute just to make sure. Hang on, right up here. Right next to each other. Okay, now we can clearly see this was the one that we did first and is much redder. So that makes this one Indy, and this one is much less red, which makes that one Ironic. So we had it right. We had it right the first time. Okay, good. I know, come with us. Come on now. Hi. So much meow. Okay. Good, good. You big kids. All right, so let's see. Who's next on the chart? It would be Vinyl, right? I'm just doing this from memory because I can't look at the chart while I'm using my phone for this close-up. Vinyl, 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 Vinyl. Where are we going to find you? How are we going to find you? I think Vinyl's one of these buried ones. Let's just see here. Oh, yes, there we go. I thought so. Good. Hi, Vinyl. Vinyl's the one with the white mask, as you can see. The others have some white on their face, but hers is very mask-like. And the collar, of course, weighs 9.5 this morning. All right, 9.5. Let's just get a second opinion there, Vinyl. I hear you. I hear you. I know. All right, we're sticking with 9.5. Good job, little Vinyl. Good job. I know. Look at you. Look at that paw. Oh, yeah. Those are some beans you got right there. Some sharp beans, razor beans. Oh, yeah. At this age, they still haven't got the mechanism to retract their claws, so they're just out all the time, and they get stuck in things, and you see them, anyway, all the time. That's why we try to choose blankets that they won't get their claws caught in too much. Okay, that brings us to our second boy. They're all girls, except for two boys, and the one boy is Artie, who we saw earlier, and the other boy is Vin, or Vintage, who we have to find now. Must be this one all the way on the end, huh? Let's see. Yes, that's him. You can tell from the leg. Come on now. He's got the big boot in back, and he's also got a white sleeve in front, so that's how we can tell them apart. You see, he's got a big white boot in his back leg, and he's got a whole white leg on the one side, on the right side. On the left side, I don't think he does. No, just the one. Somebody said he was like the kid that was still planning on getting his second sleeve tattoo. I thought that was pretty funny. So 10.8, 10.8. We're going to get a second opinion for you here, Artie. Yeah, you're a big boy. Yeah, you got a lot to say about it too, don't you? Oh, it's so loud. Yeah, your mom's got 6 other kittens to worry about. She's not going to come after you right now. 10.8. Good. We're going to stick with that. Yeah, I didn't see Luann. Oops. Hi, loud. I didn't see who asked, but we have covered the collar thing quite a bit, and it doesn't hurt for me to cover it again, though, because there's always new folks showing up. I know other fosters put collars on kittens even when they're this small, but I'm just not comfortable with it personally. And that's really all it comes down to. I'm not saying it's a terrible idea, but I am saying I just can't get comfortable with that idea myself. So as long as I can tell them apart, that's what's super important. And once they get old enough, which is probably about a month, once they're able to walk around and they really have things going, and they can control their little motor skills a little better. Once they hit that point, then we have collars that we can put on them. But I'm not comfortable doing it until then, so that's why we're not going to do it. But I have seen people suggest, for instance, Velcro collars. In fact, someone sent us some in the mailbag, which they just don't come off easy enough. And I've seen people suggest paper collars, which I think is actually a pretty good idea, except any paper that would be, I guess, weak enough and sort of what I'll say is safe enough for me to be comfortable with also wouldn't stay on long enough to be of any use whatsoever. So we're not going to do that. And then people who do little strings and stuff, same problem. It's just not right. We have tried food coloring, but Mom gets it off. I've seen people say nail polish, but I don't know how safe it could be. There's just no solution that I'm entirely cool with, and so for now, our solution is not to do anything. Cutting a little bit of hair, Isabel, that would help if it was just for me, but I don't think you'd be able to see that on the stream very well enough to make it valuable. And like I said, I don't need any of that to tell them apart. I'm very good at telling them apart here in person. Whatever we do would just be for all of you so that you could tell them apart more easily on the camera. And I don't think the hair would cut it. No pun intended. All right, this is our last kitten, by the way. Retro, 9.8 for Retro. Retro, let's get just a second opinion real quick. All right, second opinion is you are adorable. Okay, now we need a third one to break that 9.8 or 9.9. What do you think? What do you think, Retro? Let's find out. All right, we're going to go with 9.8. Here we go. So, yeah, thanks for giving me a chance to talk about that, though, because it never hurts to explain these things again, and that's something I'm not very good at. A lot of times I get the feeling I'm like, oh, come on now, I just explained that in a close-up the other day. But then, obviously, not everybody can watch every close-up. That's asking way too much. I tend to go on pretty long on these things. In fact, we're at 26 minutes today. So that's not a good excuse, and I really should explain things more often too for people that are new that are coming in, and especially when they're things that are interesting to everybody. So I appreciate those kinds of questions that give me a chance to talk about that stuff. Um, Now, we're not going to get a chance to leave the room and see Gab. Not Gab, because she's not here, but her kids, the Gifts. They are, at least when I left, they were on the regular Kitten Academy live stream up in the corner playing in the Ripple Rug. Good opportunity just for me to mention that the Ripple Rug, the guy who makes those, Fred, is just really nice to us and sent us a whole bunch of Ripple Rugs to go with adopters. And I think what we're going to do is the same thing that we used to do in the past, which is send the Ripple Rugs with anybody that adopts 2 or more kittens together, or mom and a kitten together. Because in my opinion, the Ripple Rug's really the most fun for cats that are playing with a partner. So that's what we're going to do with it. Oh, I see Diana, they just stopped playing with the rug. Okay, thanks for letting me know. I'm sure they'll get back to it. Or we'll just, we'll turn that off the stream. But good chance to remind you guys that first off, if you do get the Ripple Rug, the guy who makes them, Fred, nice guy, real generous, and he invented the whole idea. So I at least strongly support getting the original one, the Ripple Rug, not any of the millions of imitators that are out there now. Also, I just got to tell you that he doesn't pay us to talk about him or anything, but usually I get to say of the people that I shill for once in a while, just because I like them, I usually get to say that, this is not an advertisement. They don't even know who we are, except Fred does know who we are. So I don't get to say that in his case, but it's not an ad. It came up, and I just thought I'd mention it because I feel so grateful to him for helping take care of our kittens over time by sending Ripple Rugs and many of our adopters. What else was I going to say? Let's see. You can watch these kittens all day long if you tune into the Kitten Academy live stream. Brings up another point, which is that it hasn't been reset the last 2 nights, and I've had a lot of people who've run into similar issues with YouTube, and they think that the night vision is part of the problem. And we haven't had the night vision on the last couple of nights. What I do is I dim the lights in here so they're very dim, but not all the way off. And the cameras can just barely stay in color mode. And that's why the lights have seemed to be on the last couple of nights. It's partially for that, and it's partially to see if it makes this mom feel any better about where her kittens are at. So far, it's an experiment that seems to be working out in both ways, and we may just keep it up for a while. But I am still working with YouTube to try to figure out what the problem really is and whether they can solve it on their end, just so you know. And what else can I tell you before we wrap this up? Acro. Acro is back on his isolation. We've just closed the door to his room with him in there for another day. And that's just because we want to get a real good idea of how much he's eating and how much he's pooping. And we need to check it again. And the best way to do that is to keep him isolated, so we just know everything that gets eaten in that room and everything that gets pooped in that room comes from him. So he's isolated, but he's just as happy as ever. And I should point out that we've scheduled him for a follow-up visit to the vet next week. And I still have to call in and get him an ultrasound and some other tests that will help sort of reveal things. So that's what's going on. I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to say about Acro, but now I can't think of what it was. So that's all right. I do think, at least right now, the prevailing theory about what's going on with Acro is that he's actually well right now. That he probably had a minor, what you'd call it, a stroke or a blood clot that is now passed. It's been passed for a while, and he's just sort of in recovery at this point. So that's the theory, and we're going to keep doing some tests to make sure that there's no other possibility, and sort of verify that theory. But if that's the case, it's really good news because everybody can sort of feel like, you know what, he's actually doing quite well. It's just going to take some time to recover from that. As if you know anybody that's had that sort of a medical issue themselves, you know it can take quite a while to get everything back in working order afterwards. But you eventually do, and he's working on it and he's doing quite well. So that's that. The gifts I covered already. I got their Spay on the 1st, and that's only the real big news there. So, all right, I feel like I covered all the news, everybody. So let me say thank you all so much for joining us this morning to look at some kittens, and thank you to whomever took down those weights so that I can record them into the weight sheet after I'm done with this close-up. I appreciate it. Thank you in advance. And thanks so much to all of you who watch the kittens, and just for watching, actually. If you watch our stream, or you thumbs up it, or you subscribe to us, all of those help our standing at YouTube, and that helps us get seen by more people, and that helps us get the kittens adopted out, that's everything we're here for. So my point being that just watching means you're helping with these kittens. You're actually helping. So let me say thank you so much for helping. I really appreciate all of you. And then obviously some of you go beyond even that, and you donate monetarily. Those of you that can, we really greatly appreciate that as well. You all know how to do it. I'm not going to get into it, but I do want to say a heartfelt thank you. I don't say it enough. And that's it. We will do another close-up tomorrow. And until then, keep an eye out for all these kittens by watching the regular Kitten Academy live stream right here on the YouTube. All right. I want to do that again. Let's look at all the kittens one more time, and then we'll end the stream.